Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to talk about Copilot Cowork Billing, which became generally available to customers worldwide on 16th June. And I see that there are a lot of people who are very much confused with the billing, and we all know that Microsoft's billing has always been complex. So in this video, I will be simplifying the Copilot billing for everyone. Now, before we dive in, let's just quickly understand the difference between Copilot Chat and Cowork because that's very important. So, Copilot Chat is what most of us are already familiar with. You ask questions, generate a content, and get a response within a conversation. But Cowork is a completely different experience for you. It doesn't just respond, it actually takes action on your behalf and completes the work for you. For example, with Cowork, you can send emails, schedule meetings, create documents like Word, Excel, PowerPoint, post messages in Teams, or add up to 50 custom skills. So, in simple terms, Copilot Chat helps you think, Cowork helps you execute. Now, let's just talk about the pricing models. So there are two ways Copilot is priced. First is the per seat model, which most organizations are already using. So this gives you access to things like Copilot Chat, Copilot inside Office apps, and pre-built agents like your researcher agent, analyst agent, and etc. Then comes the second part, which is where Cowork fits in. That is the consumption-based model. So co-work follows a pay as you go approach, which means that you are charged based on how much work it actually performs. So even though you may have access to co-work through your Copilot license, the actual usage is tracked separately and that is billed accordingly. Now the next question is what actually impacts the cost when you use a co-work? So there are majorly four main factors contributing to this. The first one is the model that you're using. So different AI models have different cost. The second one is the context, which basically means how much data or information you provide in your request. So more context would obviously mean more processing. The third one would be the tools that you're using. So if your task involves creating documents like your PowerPoint, Excel, Word, that adds up to the cost. And finally, the last one would be your runtime action. So it's like how many times the task is being executed. So let's say that if the task is like a one time task or a scheduled occurrence, you will be billed differently. Now, all the above four factors that I have discussed now contribute to the credit consumption. So now let's just talk about credits. Cowork usage is measured in credits, and the number of credits depends on the complexity of the task. For example, a simple task like creating a weekly status update might take around 100 to 300 credits, but a more complex or a multi step task can go much higher, sometimes even a 700 plus credits. So, the key thing here to remember is more complexity would always means more credit consumed. Now, I'll show you how users can actually see how much credits their task has taken up directly in the Cowork. So I'll go to my Cowork and this is the predefined prompt that I have run where I'm researching about a company called Nvidia. So the Cowork has did a research for me and it has created a documents like Word, Excel and PowerPoint. Now, if I want to see how much credits I have used for this particular task execution, all I have to do is /cost and it is going to show you how many credits were used for this particular task, and each credit would map to around 1 cent. So this is a very great way to keep track of your usage. So that was a very quick overview on how Cowork billing works. So in the next video, we'll go through one step further and talk about how admins can set up the Cowork billing and monitor the usage. So that would be it for this video. See you in the next one.